Okay, so CreateStudio has some fun doodle effects and doodle characters, and I just changed a couple of a couple of their scenes and thought I would show you how to do that, as well as how to change um, the path that it draws when it doodles. First, let's look where I got the scenes. If you are in the scene library, you can scroll through and you can find them here. You can also just put it in the search. And then if you click on this, you're going to find a lot of scenes. And you're going to get to pick whatever you want. I picked a couple that kind of tell a story, but that was one of them. So that's this one that is on the canvas right now. And you can see that. Let's look at that one. Let me put this up a little bit. You'll see that I have some things hidden because this is the original. Let's move her out of the way. This is the original. And you can see that it really doesn't fit the word as it would have with the original text. That was have a wonderful weekend. Sorry, it was put your text here. So I had changed it just by going in and typing have a wonderful weekend. And I'd like to make this bigger. So I did, but I'm going to show you how you can do that really simply with this. Is all you have to do is click, well, you have to have it selected, of course. If you have it selected, I just clicked and resized it to what I might want. So now when you play it, the drawing extended to that duration, the sizing all fits, so it all works. The other thing we have to fix is this is now overlapping because it said, whoop, why am I there? There's my scenes. Because it said, now it moved it. Add your text here. So it was a shorter. So all I have to do is select it, right? That selected the paper overlay. Hold on. Just select the video, click, and you can drag it over. Just to put it in a better place for the text that you made. And of course, I added a couple of characters. And all I did was animate them with position and scale. I have other tutorials on that. I won't take a lot of time with that on a doodle video, on a doodle tutorial. So how do we do this? First, we're going to go to scenes and we're going to get that scene. So let's hope I can remember where that is. Well, this is very similar. That one is very similar, except they're putting Tom into the scene. Let's see. You see a hand brought him in. This is the one that I use. So if I were to use this one, I would just click download and then click and drag to the canvas. I shortened it, so I have to put it up top. So now we have the original one, which was Tom being drawn. But as you notice, I have it with the lady who didn't have a name, so I named her Tammy. So let's look at what I did in there. I'm going to open the group. I want to open it. I'm going to ungroup it so we can see all the elements at once. These are the sound effects. So those can be found, well, in the template, of course, or here. You can find them here. And I'm not sure what those were called. I'll have to look on that because those were already part of this. So you have the sound effects. And then you can see here the drawing for Tom went to here. I extended mine a little bit, so I had to move some of the text, but that here's where the Tom text came in, and I have Tammy coming in here. That was a simple select and move it. It was here, and I just shifted it a little. But let's look at how we are drawing these. I am going to move these out of the way for a bit because the extra handwriting gets very confusing. So I'm going to move the stick lady over here, and we can also show Tom so we can see both of them happening. So if we look at Tom, if you want to see the doodle effect, you just click on it. And here you can see all of the information. Right now it's drawing. You can also do an erasing. I'm not going to do that in this tutorial. The hand size is 70%. The shaking is 8. The default is very fast, and it gives me a headache. It gives me motion sickness. So probably you're going to want to delete the, reduce that. Then we have show hand. You can also hide the hand. So then it just draws it in like that. So if you don't want the hand in, you can just take it off. And then this is just showing a different perspective of the hand. The hand is more on top. This is more to the side. So that can be a choice that you choose to make. This is the default. This is where you edit the path. So I'm going to show you what they did right there. That's their edited path. Let's look at what the path is. Oh no, because this is already, sorry, I wasn't even thinking straight. I wanted to show you what the path might look like, but I can show you that and bring the girl in again. I did something similar. Oh, I guess I went down to 7 for the shaking. You want to make sure that your hand size isn't so small. I don't like the hand size really big, but I do like to make it smaller. But if you make it too small, watch what happens when you play. See how now you can see the bottom of the hand. So you don't want to make it so small. So you definitely want to make sure that you look back when you're playing so that it will always stay just the hand and it doesn't see the cutoff of the hand. That would be no fun. So let's bring in, I am now going to hide the guy. Let me bring in the girl again. I'm going to go to my studio, characters. I'm going to go to Doodle. And then I'm just going to go download. If I don't have it yet, I can download it. Click and drag. I thought I hid him. And let me hide her. I don't know why his hand, why is he still there? Oh. There we go. So now I have my stick lady. I'm going to get her a little bit bigger. She was over here. I'm going to put her on idle. And the reason I'm going to put her on idle is it is easier to draw it because idle doesn't have any motions to it. See how she's not moving? If I wanted to start it with a motion, such as then she went to waving, I can do that, but I'm going to have to take a snapshot, have the doodle the snapshot, and then go into the wave. And that just seems like an awful lot of extra work that we don't have to do because idle does it for us. And then we don't have to resize, we don't have to take a snapshot or any of that. Then I'm going to go up to Effects and Components. I'm going to go to Doodle, click and drag it to my lady. You can drop it here or you can drop it there. Right now, I'm going to get rid of the hand for a minute so that we can see, although I am going to change the shaking so we don't forget. And I always had it a little bit smaller. You can change the hand. You can make it a cartoon hand. Whoops. You have real hands. You have cartoon hands. You have different skin color. You have a pencil. There's chalk. This is the marker. There is chalk in here as well. There's a chalk one. So you can choose the hand that you want. I am going to right now not show the hand just so we don't get distracted by it, or I don't get distracted by it. Now, if we look at the drawing path, this is what I was showing before and it was too soon. If we look at the drawing path, why am I? Ugh. All right, I've got my hand, buddy. We're going to do manual. So it starts at automatic. Oh, that's what I wanted to show you. If we go in to edit the path, see how the path is all messy. It's really large, so it's really just coloring it in, which is perfectly fine if that's what you want to do. However, you can edit that path so that it's drawing it more like you saw in our original one. So what we're going to do is we are going to clear the path. We're also, you can reduce that here, but it's still going to go over the larger part of it. So it's coloring it in more than drawing it in. So we're going to edit the path, clear it. So now nothing is happening. She's not there because there's nothing drawing it yet. We don't have a path. So what you do to add a path is Control click. I'm going to make her just a little bit bigger. We can always reduce her in size. Now I'm going to go back to the click on the drawing, edit the path. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold down your control and then click your mouse. So I'm going to start with her hair. There's my first one. There's my second one. You can see that it's drawing it really large. So let me draw a few more just so that we can, so I can show you something. I am putting them close together and that's mostly, oh, I really missed that one. I'm going to Control Z to get rid of the last two. So that we make sure that it gets the whole black line. I don't talk and do this very well. All right, so let's see what that part looks like. So it doesn't look too bad, but when we get to some of the others, it might not look as good. So we can reduce it because I don't really want her eyebrows in there yet. I'm going to draw those in. So now we're going to see it drawing the line a little bit more detail. It goes right to it now because the drawing path is done. I didn't finish it yet. So we have to finish the drawing. The other thing that you want to know is you can lift your, so right here I went to the end. Now I need to go down here. You can start there. It is going to make a small path to that spot, but that's not really a problem when there isn't anything underneath it that will be shown. So I have a few more there than I need probably. But there we're drawing it. And just like our other actions, we can click and drag that to make it take longer to draw or quicker to draw. So you can change the speed that you want to take for the sketching. So that looks pretty good. Here's where I want to tell you that you have to be careful when you when you make the connection and you can see how it is green. That's not going to be a problem here. Why? Because it's white and there isn't anything that it would be drawing in. However, when you get to something like the yellow skirt, so I'm going to go right down to the yellow skirt. If I'm not careful here, this isn't the path that I did before, but I'm rushing to get to the yellow skirt. So right here, you can see that it's starting to draw the skirt. And because my dots, my line, the size was wider, it's showing some of the yellow. I don't think that that really matters here, right? However, if I ended here, and then I go, oh, I'm going to go to her leg, and I click down here. Oh, I'm sorry, I ended there. Now it's going to draw that little bit of yellow. Let me show you. Get the foot done. Now you can see that it drew that line. That doesn't look good at all. That wouldn't be a very good drawing. So what you want to do is make sure that you're not crossing that space. We'll want to make sure that we color it in. Now I'm being very sloppy here. See how you can see some of the green? And you also can see some yellow. That means it's going to draw it really crappy. Excuse my language. But see what it does? You really want to make sure that you're careful when you're filling in the spots, because right here I didn't go all the way down. You can click and drag it to do some adjusting. But I don't have enough dots in there because I did it purposefully to show you how bad it could be. And my draw path still stayed a little, so I can make that a little wider. So my control, did I end there? So then I can just go up and down to fill in the skirt. I want to end at the bottom if I can, just because then I can go right to the leg. But you can see that I still have some errors in there. So we can hopefully do some adjusting. And it doesn't look like I can on that one. So I'm going to move these over. I should be doing it planfully and get those. And I did do that one on purpose too, because I wanted to show you how you can move these so that if you do see, you can fix it. Now, it's much messier than my first one. I had about 3 of them that I had to do. But now I can very easily push down Control, add another dot, add another dot. Now it should be filling it in. That one's okay because that's right where the end is, but I do have one right up here that I didn't connect. So I'm not going to take too much time, I don't think, to do that. Oh, maybe I did it. But you know that you'll want to fix it, and now you know how. So you're just going to continue to do that until you have your whole character drawn. Then when you're in the template, I tend to like to leave the original one in there in case I need it again. But you can just click on it. So here's the stick guy. I had it hidden. Here's the stick guy. going to get rid of the one I just made. So I know where I want my girl to go, so she kind of fits into the same scene. You can click on the stick guy and delete them, or I tend to hide it, click and hide until I'm done to make sure in case I have to do any resizing. But that's just something I do. So let's see how that looks. And she's waving from off screen, off stage to the right. She's waving. And then I just went in and I got to bring the text back. This is where it was for the original Tom. It was right here. But because I extended the time it took to draw, here is where it took to draw Tom. Here I am. So I just selected and just moved so that it wouldn't overlap. And that probably could go a little bit later. There you go. That's how you would change that scene. And then I would just end it there. Now, I don't have a transition here, but they have a whole bunch of transitions. Let me show you where all that is. I also changed this image because it was a photograph, but let me show you where all the transitions and all of the effects for Doodle are. I already showed you where the characters are. If you keep scrolling down, you're going to see Doodle. I'm going to click on that. We have Doodle characters that you already saw. We have Doodle effects. So they would draw them in, just like that line and the arrows. Some of them are in color. There's tons of them. I mean, just look at all these. I won't take all this time. They have some hands pointing. They have scribble underneath it. They have cameras. They have popcorn. They have movies. You can take a little video. They have different effects. And you can just look through all of these. There's just so many of them. They also have transitions. So I could put a transition. Let's do that one. I don't know if some of them seem kind of fast. Let's take that one. So I'm going to download it, click and drag. And then as it comes in, I have it in the wrong spot because I forgot that I had this ungrouped. So as we close out of, still another guy on top. Let me just quickly group these again because I need to move it. So here, this is going to close out on that one. Probably a little too soon, so let's see. Now it's closed out. I'm going to move my next group right to that section, and then it will, What you won't want to do, you will want to have some time in between the hand because the hand is obviously going to come on top of the transition. So what I thought I could do is have it reveal it, but that is not going to work. So you do have to put it at the end. Sorry, I just realized that. I haven't used Doodle much, but you can use any of these transitions as well. And there are quite a few of those that you can choose from. I'm looking at the time and it's been a while, but I'm going to very quickly show you what I did with this, because what was in there, and if you don't want to watch the rest of it, just shut it down. This was, I didn't mean to shorten it. This was a photograph. Let me show it. So what they had was a photo come in with some text. Their text was different. So what I did is I just changed it to something that would make sense for our stick family that you just met, Tammy. So what I did is, this is one of our reveal transitions. So I just used the same thing. That's not drawing in. It's just the reveal. And then all I did is I kept everything the same, except I changed the text to my family. And where they had the photo, I'm going to open that group. I replaced the photo of the girl with the stick figure Tom and the little doggy. That's all I did there. And at the beginning, I had just taken a screenshot because they weren't idle. They were actually in motions of barking and waving. I do have a tutorial on how to do that, and I can link to that in the description. And then what I did is I just took, unmask this. In the original, you can see it's labeled photo background and it's just white. So I decided to just get a background, a house background. I went to the Supreme backgrounds, because 3D wouldn't look good. And then I just decided to mask it, just so it wasn't a blank background. You don't have to do that, but just to explain what I did with this. And so that's all I did, is I just got rid of the photograph that they had, and I put in the family. So instead of I undid the wrong one, sorry. Instead of this image, I made that image. So that's all I did with that. But if you have any questions, you can ask in the comments below, because now I'm looking and it's at 28 minutes. It's a long tutorial, and I can link to how I've done some tutorials that can show how to do the image and how to do some of this masking. And just let me know any questions in the comments below, because I didn't mean to make this so long, but hopefully you could see how to edit the path of the doodle. And the turn, well, I have more things showing there. So sorry, that got messy because I'm hid everything. And just how you can increase the size or move the elements very easily from all of the scenes that they have. So just start with their scenes, and you should be all set. And then you'll learn how to do it from their models. Have fun.